Sai Ram students, a warm welcome to all of you. Today we are going to continue with the lesson The Mouse. Yesterday we had begun with the lesson. But before I proceed with the lesson, let me give you a short recap of what we did in our last class. The story basically revolves around Theodoric Waller, who was brought up by a mother who protected him from the harsh realities of life. And Mouse was one such. One day, Theodoric Waller was traveling in a second class compartment of a train. And how did he reach the station? He took a pony carriage. What happened was the handyman was not available around and he himself had to harness the carriage. He reached the station, he settled down in the train, and when the train had covered a short distance, a very short distance, he could sense some sort of uneasiness. His co-passenger was a lady of his age. She was fast asleep. Now, Theodoric realized that something has crept into his clothes. There was something was wrong somewhere. And then, he realized while he was harnessing the pony, maybe something went into his clothes. And then finally he understood that it was a mouse. Now he cannot cover the entire journey with that mouse in his clothes. He tried every possible way to remove the mouse from his clothes. But the only option remaining was to partially remove his clothes and get rid of that mouse. Now, why? Obviously, now the compartment that he was sharing was with a lady, so he cannot do it. He cannot do it in front of the lady. So what he did, he took a rug and he made a partition of that rug. He tied the ends of the rug to the racks, and he started, partially disrobing himself. And while he was doing that, the mouse popped out of his clothes and it jumped on the rug, because of which the rug came off. And the lady also woke up. Now he is scared. He has partially disrobed himself. And the lady also wakes up. He doesn't know what to do next. So he pulls the rug towards himself and he goes behind towards the corner of the compartment, and he sits there and waits for the lady to say something. And then he himself says that I think I have malaria. I'm shivering, and he also chatters his teeth. So the lady says that she is carrying some brandy. If he helps the lady in getting the purse down, she can give him some brandy which will make him feel warm. He says, no, I don't drink and all. I'm comfortable. And that is where we stopped yesterday. So quickly, let's get started for our today's session. Kindly go get your book and pen so that you can make a note of all the hard words. I suppose you caught it in the tropics. Theodoric felt that even the malaria was slipping from him. He wondered if it would be possible to tell her the truth in small installments. Are you afraid of mice? He asked, growing, if possible, redder in the face. Not unless they come in quantities. Why do you ask? So, when he tells the lady that he might be having malaria, so she also agrees to it, and she says, oh, you must have caught it from the tropics. Tropic over here means Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn. So she says you must have got it from there. Now Theodoric felt that malaria was slipping from him. The lady had already accepted that this man is having malaria, and now he thinks that he wondered if it would be possible to tell her truth in small installments. So he was thinking that will it be possible for me to tell her the truth in small installments, is part by part, not completely he'll tell everything. So he decided that now I will tell her the truth, but in small installments. And then he asks, are you afraid of mice? He asked, growing, if possible, redder in face. So he questions the lady, are you afraid of mice? And when he asked this question, his face was red. To which she replies, not unless they come in quantities. If it's one, it's okay. But if there are many, definitely even I get scared, even I'm afraid. And then she asks, why are you asking this question? I had one crawling inside my clothes just now, said Theodoric. It was a most awkward situation. So he says, I had one mouse, it was crawling inside my clothes just now. And this was the most awkward situation I've ever faced in my life. It was the most awkward situation. It must have been, she observed. But mice have strange ideas of comfort. So she said, yes, she says, yeah, it must have been what you are saying, it must have, whatever you are saying is can be truth. But these mice, they have very strange ideas of comfort. If they want to relax, they go and relax in one corner. Why inside your clothes, she was wondering. I had to get rid of it while you were asleep, he continued. Then, with a gulp, he added, it was getting rid of it that brought me to this. So he says that, while you were fast asleep, I wanted to get rid of that mouse at that very point itself. And then he says, while doing that, while getting rid of that, it brought me to this situation where I am. And this situation, he means what? That rug tied in between, okay, which fell off, and now he had covered his body with that rug. Surely getting rid of one small mouse wouldn't cause malaria, she said, in an amused manner that Theodoric thought abominable. So she said, yeah, surely getting rid of one small mouse will not cause malaria. And she said this, in a very amused manner. And Theodoric thought abominable, which means it was an extremely unpleasant thing for Theodoric, the way she responded back. Evidently, she had detected his predicament and was enjoying his confusion. So this lady had detected this unpleasant situation that Theodoric was in, and she was enjoying this confusion. All the blood in his body seemed to have mobilized in one concentrated blush. So this man was feeling so ashamed, he was feeling so shy that his face had turned red. And then, as reflection began to assert itself, sheer terror took the place of humiliation. All this while, he was feeling very humiliated, he was feeling very ashamed, but now terror took place of humiliation. He was scared. And why was he scared? Let us read. With every minute that passed, the train was rushing nearer to the crowded terminus. He hoped his fellow traveler might relapse into blessed slumber, but that was not to be. So, with every minute that passed, the train was coming near to the terminus, was coming near to the station. Obviously, the situation that he is in, he had covered his body with a rug. He wanted to wear his clothes, but he could not do that because the lady was now awake. Okay, so he was hoping that the lady, that the this particular lady, she might relapses, she might go back to blessed slumber. Slumber is deep sleep, but that was not the case. The lady had just woken up, and she was in no plans of going back to sleep. I think we must be getting near now, she presently observed, or even she said, I think we are nearing the station. So he was already thinking about that, but the lady also confirmed, I think we are nearing the terminus. Theodoric had already noted with growing terror the stacks of small ugly dwellings that heralded the journey's end. So he was imagining how this journey is going to come to an end. Okay, he had covered himself with rug. He could see, the station coming close. He wanted to wear his clothes, so he was very scared at that point of time. He realized, he imagined how his journey would come to an end. Heralded is to be a sign that something is about to happen. And the words acted as a signal. Even when the lady confirmed that the station is nearing, those words also acted as a signal that yes, it's time, to wear my clothes back. That is what Theodoric thought. Like a hunted beast breaking cover and dashing madly towards some other haven of momentary safety, he threw aside his rug and struggled frantically into his disheveled garments. So, what happened? Like a hunted beast breaking cover, he didn't know what to do. He just wanted to wear his clothes. So, what he did, like a hunted beast breaking cover, he dashed madly towards some other haven. Haven is a secure place. And where was the secure place? Obviously, where his clothes were lying. He wanted to get his clothes so that he could wear them and he could just move out of the compartment because he was feeling so ashamed. He was feeling so bad of the awkward situation that he was in. So what did he do? He threw aside his rug and struggled frantically into his disheveled garments. What is disheveled garments? Is untidy garments. So he quickly started frantically, looking for his garments, and he wore them. He was conscious of dull suburban stations racing past the windows, of choking, hammering sensation in his throat. So he could see those stations passing by. Okay, and there was some sort of choking in his throat. There was some sort of hammering sensation in his throat and in his heart, and of an icy silence in that corner toward which he dared not look. The icy silence means even that lady was very quiet now, but he did not dare to even look at that lady. Then, as he sank back in his seat, clothed and almost delirious, the train slowed down to a final crawl, and the woman spoke. Then he was ashamed. He went back to his seat. He sat there, and almost delirious, is extremely anxious. The train slowed down to a final crawl. So the speed, it reduced, and finally it was about to stop. The train was about to stop. And at that time, the woman spoke. What did she speak? Let's see. Would you be so kind, she asked, as to get me a porter to put me into a cab? It's a shame to trouble you when you're feeling unwell, but being blind makes one so helpless. So she says, would you be kind enough, to get me a porter to help me, who would help me to pick up my stuff, my bag, and, help me, get into a cab. She says, it's a shame to trouble you. I feel bad. It's not right to trouble a person who is not feeling well. But being blind makes one so helpless. She says, I am blind and I'm so helpless. If you could just help me. So he was so self absorbed. Theodoric was so self absorbed that he didn't even realize that all this while that he was worrying, okay, it was for nothing. Why? Because this lady was blind. She didn't see anything that happened. Clear? So that's it with the lesson. Now we'll quickly just go through the value points first. If you want, students, you can pause the video and you can jot down these value points, which will definitely help you when you are revising the lesson for your examination. Let's start with reference to context. The train had scarcely attained its normal speed when he became aware of a warm, creeping movement over his flesh. So, who is he over here? Who is this he? He became aware. So, who is this he? This he is Theodoric Waller. And what was moving over his flesh? It was a mouse that was moving over its flesh. Who else was traveling with him? Who was in the compartment with him? A woman of his age. Okay, so a woman was traveling with him. So this compartment was shared by a woman. So students, now we'll come to the vocabulary part of this lesson. We have anagram. Let's understand what an anagram is. An anagram is a word or phrase that's formed by rearranging the letters of another word or a phrase. Okay, for example, look over here carefully. A decimal point. Okay, a decimal point. This can be turned into the anagram I am a dot in place. When you rearrange the alphabets, it gives you I am a dot in place. And why do people use anagrams? Basically, anagrams are just for fun. Sometimes they're used as pseudonyms or as codes. Let me give you a few more examples. Look at these words carefully. The first word for you is race. When I rearrange the words, the alphabets of this word, it gives me another word which is care. Next word is part. When I rearrange the alphabets of this word, it gives me trap. Then it's heart. When I rearrange heart as EARTH, it gives me a new word, earth. And the last word is knee. When I rearrange knee, it gives me keen. So such words, when you rearrange the alphabets, it gives you a fresh word that is called as an anagram. Clear? Look at this example from your textbook. We have the word listen, and when we rearrange the alphabets over here, it gives us silent. So listen is an anagram of silent. Now here we have a few words for you. This is going to be your homework. Let me just help you with few words. Let me do the first one for you. The first one is read. Read can be rearranged as dear. So it is R-E-A-D or D-E-A-R. Okay. Next, I'll help you with polo. Polo can also be written as, the words if you arrange, it will come as loop. The 10th one is stone. If I rearrange the alphabets, I get a word which is note. Okay, so out of these 10, 3 I have done for you. The remaining ones you will be doing on your own. Moving on to the next topic that we have is compound words. What are compound words? Let us understand. Compound words are formed when two or more words are joined together to create a new word that has an entirely new meaning. Now, pay attention. This word sun. Sun has a different meaning. Flower has a different meaning altogether. But when we put sun and flower together, it gives us a new word which has a new meaning, which is not similar to these two words. Are you understanding? Let me give you a few more examples. Look at these. Look at this picture. The first word is lip. Second word is stick. Two different words with two different meanings and two different pictures, but when I put them together, it gives me a new word which has a different meaning, which is not similar to this, neither this nor this. Okay, look at this one, arm and chair. But when you put it together, it becomes armchair. Clear, students? Similarly, we have cup and cake. When you put it together, it becomes cupcake. Then we have snow and man. Two different words with different meanings, but when we put them together, it becomes snowman. Clear, students? Now I have an exercise for all of you, which you will be doing it on your own. Let me just help you with few words. Look at the third word, which is basket. So when I join basket with ball, it gives me the word basketball. Clear? When I join this 9th word with tub, that is bath, when I join with tub, it gives me the word bathtub. This word bath and this word tub, they are two different words, but when we put them together, they give us a new word which has altogether a different meaning. So I hope, students, this activity is also very clear to all of you. So with this, we come to an end of our lesson and the vocabulary that was related to this particular lesson. We'll catch up very soon in our next class. Till then, you will take care of yourself. Sai Ram and bye-bye.